That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Trade talk. And I'm actually gonna add some additional single issues to the trade talk. Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman. This is, oh god! Oh my god, this is great. And I picked up some single issues, 3 single issues that were at the shops. Yes, Wonder Woman! Can you say Wonder Woman, Danny? Wonder Woman! Sorry, I couldn't help it. Anyway, so I'm gonna put these issues off to the side for a bit. I'm just gonna kind of talk about it all as one piece because I found it really interesting. So I'd seen this book kind of on the stands every now and again for the last couple of months, but I didn't really know what it was, and so I was kind of hesitant about picking it up. But the last couple times I've been seeing it, I'm like, alright, let's give it a check. And especially after I got this trade, I was like, okay, if I really like the trade, I'll probably add the book to my list. And I loved the trade! Oh my god, alright. Alex and Steve and I have all mentioned on Twitter, and I know I've had different conversations with them on Skype about this. If you love or enjoy, one and done storytelling in comic books, you just get a 22-page story, this is the book for you to be picking up. If you like Wonder Woman, but you don't like the direction they took her in the New 52, this is the book for you to be picking up. Alright, so the basic way that I could describe this book best is probably, it's kind of like All-Star Superman, but for Wonder Woman, except there's no through line. It's just kind of that, it's in its own universe, honestly, this is written in such a way that it's whatever universe the writer wants. You obviously have the New 52 costume on the cover, and there is at least one story in which she is clearly in the New 52, because there's a reference to her dating Superman. Where's it at? It's a line Cersei says. Aw, poor thing, it looks like I have the upper hand at last. Unless you want to call for help, I hear you're quite close to someone super. So, I mean, and she's wearing the New 52 costume there, so it's clearly set in New 52 continuity. But at the same time, the second page of the first issue has Oracle. Barbara Gordon, paralyzed Oracle, in it. So, if you miss Barbara Gordon, fucking pick this book up! Yeah! Listen to what I say. So no, this is a great series, and all it is really doing is just whatever universe the character or the writer wants to set it in is the universe that it's in. And so you even have some that looks and reads like Silver Age or Golden Age stuff. Wonder Woman even gets bound up by chains, so really Golden Age stuff. It's a Supergirl fight, so that's fun. I don't love the art in it, but it's still cool. It's still a fun story, fun, cute little story. And the other thing about this, it is really an all ages book. There are stories in this that feel like they can that have kind of dark or somber endings. Then there are stories in this that are just really fun and lighthearted, and then there's stuff in the middle, and there's stuff with a lot of good messages in it. And the art usually does a pretty good job of reflecting the kind of story you're getting, so you could really pick this book off the shelf and look through the art to tell what kind of tone you're going to be setting here. But, this last story, which I'll say some more about, because I think there are 2 stories in this I really want to talk about. This last story really does set a tone for, it really does, the art does set a tone for the story that you're getting there. I'll talk about this story real quick. So it revolves around Themyscira kind of keeping tabs on Apocalypse at times, which I find interesting enough. But what's really cool about it is Wonder Woman is sent on a mission to Apocalypse to recover 2 spies that got left there. And she finds out that the spies have set up a plan to try to blow up Apocalypse, and after she's captured by Darkseid, she absolutely does not accept this plan of theirs, and volunteers to go destroy the bomb because it's been deposited into the planet's core and it's deposited into the fire pits and it's on its way to the planet's core. So she goes after it and she ends up saving Apocalypse because she cannot condone genocide. And Darkseid accepts some kind of terms with her that we don't really get to see. But hold on. Someone asks Darkseid, "What should we do with the Amazon, sire?" And Diana says, "Darkseid, we had a deal." And he says, "I will honor the agreement in the way I see fit." And he kills the two Amazons with his Omega Beams and says, "Now go." And so Wonder Woman has to leave with them dead because they committed crimes against Apocalypse and she didn't negotiate their return to Themyscira. But while there, she's able to save, or not save, but inspire a level of hope in the inhabitants of Apocalypse. These people see, Darkseid isn't this infallible god, and there's a line toward the end of that where, what's the line? Come on, stupid book. "An Amazon, an outsider, saved us. Even Darkseid knew it. He did at that. And you know what? He's not as tall as I thought he'd be." So you have this breaking of the god image that Darkseid has gathered up. There's that really famous episode of Superman TES where Superman beats the crap out of Darkseid and then throws him off a building, and in front of his people, Darkseid's, down in the dirt, and Superman says, "Do whatever you want with him." And they help him up and take him inside, and he, stops him and goes, "Here, Kal-El, I am a god." And that's really fascinating stuff, and you see Wonder Woman is breaking that image of godhood, not by defeating him, not by being more powerful than him, but just by showing that he isn't always in control. That's really cool stuff. My issue with that story, though, is it's really weird that there's an economy on Apocalypse. The people that she runs into and inspires to talk about this stuff, they're kind of like scrap merchants, basically, that are selling stuff to people. And I guess inherently that there has to be some kind of social structure in or on Apocalypse, but I don't know. I just always imagine Apocalypse to be kind of this giant concentration camp of slave labor, that people eat, work, sleep, and die. That's it. They don't have anything else. They work until they pass out in the day. They get up, they get just the bare minimum of nutrients. They work, and occasionally they reproduce to provide more slaves for Darkseid. That's always how I've imagined Apocalypse. And that's not exactly what we get here. We get the sense that there's kind of a hierarchy and a social structure. And to be fair, my perception of that is entirely what I imagine. It's not necessarily the case. You could easily make the argument that, or you could easily show me issues from other stuff that have shown kind of life on Apocalypse, as it were. So I was just personally caught off guard with that, so it might not be a major problem, but I did think it was really weird that there was merchants on Themyscira. The other good thing about this is, from what I can tell, I read the trade, but from what I can tell, there are 2 stories per issue. So not only are you getting a story in 22 pages, you're getting 2 stories in 22 pages. Kind of like an A and a B story, like a main story and then a little side feature. Let's see here. This last issue, issue number 12 it was. This one had a pretty long A story that involved Poison Ivy on Themyscira, helping them defeat Typhon at the bequest of Gaia. And that's this section of the book right here is all that. And then, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 9, 10. So about half the book, but most of that's art. There's not a ton of story going on with that. It's Wonder Woman getting offended at something Dr. Destiny did in her town, and going on vacation at Bruce's suggestion to this little Appalachian town that's kind of been terrorized by Solomon Grundy, and she goes and beats up Grundy, and that makes her feel better. Whatever. Just it's the nature of getting in a fight to clear your head, so that makes sense. That's in line with her character in some ways. But overall, this is just a really great series. If you miss like that classic Wonder Woman feel, if you don't like what's been going on in the New 52, which I understand, I don't agree with, but I understand people's criticisms, then this is really the book to pick up. There's a lot of sweet moments in it. The other story I wanted to talk about in the main trade is the New 52 story. So Wonder Woman beats up Cersei and blah blah blah, not that important. Bunch of different writers too, by the way. She defeats Cersei, and I think I've skipped this story. I totally have. There we go. She defeats Cersei, and then you see her arresting her on this kid's iPad as he's reading it. And he says, Wonder Woman is the best superhero, and he's surrounded by his friends, and he's like, you can't like Wonder Woman the best? She's a girl, that's weird. And they're like making fun of him for it. And he says, it's not weird, she's a hero. And they're like, ew, Aiden likes girl stuff, Aiden likes girl stuff, Aiden likes girl stuff. And then Wonder Woman lands behind them and says, is there something wrong with girl stuff? Nothing's wrong with girl stuff, but boys should like boy stuff. Oh, really? Says who? And she snaps off a piece of the golden lasso and hands it to the kid. She's like, next time anyone says you can't like something, put this in their hand and ask them again. Because the truth is, being true to yourself is never wrong. She gives him a kiss on the forehead and walks away. And the kids are like, whoa, you just got kissed by Wonder Woman. Awesome. It's like it's just such a sweet, sweet book. Or sweet, sweet story. Like the Cersei stuff's a cool little action fight scene. You know, Cersei's doing her thing, turning people into centaurs, animals, whatever. But the way it ends is perfect, and that it's New 52 Wonder Woman is like, yes, take that. So I mean, it's superficially New 52 Wonder Woman, but it is New 52 Wonder Woman. One of the weird things, so this is the cover for issue number 6, the one with the Apocalypse story in it, I believe. Superman's not in it. That was one of those weird, annoying things that happens. I never know what to think about that. What time am I at? I never know what to think when that happens. Like, okay, way to not put the character that's on the cover in the book. It's funny, Superman's not even in this entire book. The only issue that Superman is in, so far at least, has been, if I'm remembering correctly, has been this issue. And even then, he's not really Superman. He's Super Pig. And Batman's a stone statue made so by Medusa. So yeah, this has been an interesting read, and I really like this book. This is a lot of fun, just classic one and done stories with the character, and I've really missed that stuff. Of course, the best thing about comics is that they never end, but at the same time, there's something that you lose when you're only able to, you know, read a book that's being written for long format. I mean, like, yeah, I love trades. I love long runs that build and tell these epic stories. That's always really cool to read. But you need to pump the brakes every now and again and just tell a good, quick story in comic books, because that's truly what they are best at, is just a quick one-two punch story. So this just hits me in all the right notes. 1, it's Wonder Woman. 2, it's sweet and perfectly captures her character. 3, it is just loads of fun in the differences in tone and stories that it tells. And 4, it's one and done stories. It's perfect. That's one of the best comics I've read in a couple of years. Like new comics, current ongoing stuff. It's really well done stuff. I've really enjoyed that book.
That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.